Hi Year 6, so this is the final video in this sequence of learning all about the tale of the three brothers. This is what we call the exhibit stage, in that this is where you're going to produce your final piece, which we call publishing our final piece, so I can publish my final draft. Steps to success for this piece: you're going to edit and improve your writing, and finally present your finished piece in an attractive and appealing manner. So at this point, you should have written out your version of The Tale of Three Brothers, a draft version, following the video Mrs. Withers put together. What we want to do is put that and turn that into a finished product, our published piece. And what we'd like to do is create some sort of picture book style piece, with beautiful imagery alongside your wonderful writing. As you can see in the videos that are playing, these are two videos. One is of The Tale of the Three Brothers, which is from the Beadle of the Bard, J.K. Rowling stories, and then the other one is a picture book of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And as you can see in those videos, the quality of imagery is incredible, really inspiring, and it goes alongside the writing. And what you'll be trying to do in your piece is try to draw lots of beautiful pictures alongside your writing, and create this final picture book style piece, and probably either in A4 sheets or on A3 sheets, depends on how you want to do it. And those videos there just give you an idea of how that will look. So there's two elements to this. Obviously you've got a piece of writing written out in a draft form. So the first thing you're going to be doing, the first thing you're going to think about as you're creating a published piece, is how do you edit and improve that. What I suggest is you can make edits as you rewrite your work into best. So if I had my drafts written out, what I might do myself is, obviously I'd read through it once just to check it all the way through, and then I would make edits on that draft version, crossing things out, changing words, putting in punctuation. I'd do that on the draft version, and then as I come to my final version, I would just perfect that and write it out really clearly and neatly, with all the corrections that I've made. So your draft version, a bit like in our drafting books, your draft version, nobody's going to look at that can have all those scribbles all over it. A bit like those pictures I used to show you of the J.K. Rowling draft versions. It's got all the crossings out on. In terms of what you need to do to improve your work, well, first of all, proofread it. Consider the basics: punctuation, capital letters, full stops, commas in the correct place, use of exclamation marks, question marks, speech, inverted commas. Just checking that all through, and obviously spellings as well. I always say don't guess spellings. You know if you are not sure about a spelling, so get a dictionary and just check it through. Or if you've got access to some sort of computing device, tablet or a computer, check the spellings on there, and fix those in your draft version. Then the other part of it is making edits and improvements. So I'd think about vocabulary choices, phrase choices. Have you chose the best word there? Sometimes when you read your work aloud, you can hear that certain words just don't quite sound right, or that you've repeated them. And sometimes it's worth just reading a little passage and just considering those key descriptive words. Are they the best choice of word? Think about the level of detail in your writing. Sometimes there's not enough detail about the character, or not enough detail about the setting, and you need to add in more phrases and more description of that. Sometimes we go in the other way. Sometimes we include unnecessary information that we don't need, which kind of takes away from the story and almost becomes a little bit boring to read. And again, the only way to check that really is to read it yourself as if you were the reader, and what impact it has on you. And I've put at the bottom there, impact on reader. So when you're thinking about those word choices, which word choice has the biggest impact? Sometimes one really high quality descriptive word is more powerful than two or three sort of basic boring adjectives. And I think the best way to improve your writing and proofread it is just constant reread. I say this all the time. Each time you write a sentence, reread it. Each time you write a paragraph, reread it. And when you finish your writing, reread it again. So it should be a constant process where you're constantly improving your work. Okay. Then the other part to this is actually creating the final product. So you're going to need some white paper, plain paper, A3 or A4, depending on what you've got. If you have, I would go for A3 and fold that in half, and that gives you quite a big piece of paper then to work on. You might even choose to have 2 pieces of A3 and make it into a booklet, a bit like a real book. You're going to need imagery on it. So you need to think about how you're going to set that out. Are you going to have a full page, sort of an A4 style drawing on one side with the writing on the other side? Or are you going to have different drawings scattered on the page with the writing sort of fit around it? You need to think about that. I've got some pictures to show you of some of the pages from the Harry Potter book that gives you some ideas for how you could set it out. With your writing, you've got an A3 sheet of paper, and that's quite a large size, and you can use maybe 2, maybe 3 pieces of paper. So you don't want to squash all of your work into just one page. Space it out. Don't write fully to the margin. It would be useful if you could get some sort of, draw some lines with a pencil, so you know how to line your writing up properly and things like that. If we have some of these pages, these are from the Harry Potter picture book, and you can see on this one the image is all on the left hand side, and then the writing is all on the second side, and they've done the writing in columns. You don't necessarily have to do that, but do notice how the writing doesn't go all the way to the margin. It's not squashed in, it's spaced out, and obviously because they've used a computer, it's all nice and straight, and that's where you need to use your pencil to get it nice and straight. On this one, you've got an image at the top of one of the pages and the writing underneath, and then there's little scatterings of sort of, it looks like an ink blotch or something, and it just makes that effect on the page. Again, very beautiful. Here it's slightly different. There's lots of writing on this page. Again, the writing is spaced out nicely, but all different images all scattered around the page that relate to the writing. Personally, I probably wouldn't write in columns, but that's up to you. And a different one there, an amazing picture there, with some images across the top and then images at the bottom there with the writing around it. And then also in the Harry Potter book, there's lots where it's just a dull page of a drawing. You could sketch out a drawing in complete A3 size or A4 size, and that's what I'm saying. If you want to use 2 or 3 sheets of paper, you can make it into your own picture book style book. You may want to think about a front cover as well, because obviously on these books, if you look back at the initial videos, they have amazing front covers as well, with beautiful imagery on. So finally, you're going to do all your writing and put that into your final book. What I thought I'd do be useful for you is I've pulled together some imagery for the tale of the 3 brothers, and perhaps some of these pictures you could pause the video and you could use some of those as inspiration for the drawings that you're going to put on your picture book. So we've got a picture there that I found off the internet. I think that's a clip from the video clip actually. Sort of beautiful backdrop you could put on a page. You can actually do this maybe as if you've been really creative. All of the sort of the drawings you could have on a page, and then you could do some writing in the top right hand corner, something like that. I'll flick for you another image there, and the Death's hand in the corner, and the 3 brothers with the moon in the back. Again, a difference is a sketch. I would probably use for this story sort of black and white pencil sketch. I think would be quite effective. Here there's no space for any writing, so this could be just something you did on one side of a page, or you could draw in a slightly different way and create some space to do some writing around it. There's an example of maybe a front cover, J.K. Rowling at the back. And that's just a really interesting sketch of Death himself, kneeled over staring down at the 3 brothers. That might make a nice drawing to go on one page. Here's one I found off the internet, an example of a picture book. Sort of front cover on the one side, a bit an imagery at the top, and then there you can see that writing. And you can see not writing fully to the edge of the page, leaving some space, but nice and straight, nice and neat. Another image there. Another image there. and I quite like this one to finish as well. And you can see that you don't need lots and lots and lots of writing on a page. You can use lots of pages to complete your story, so you have this full book effect. Another really nice one there. The sketch in the background. I'd probably be tempted here to do the sketch of the drawings first, thinking about where you're going to leave some space for your writing, and then put the writing on afterwards. Like I say again, there's not much writing on that page, so you would be using 3, 4, 5 pages to complete your full picture book story. And that's it. Go for it. Aim for the stars, and go for the most amazing piece of work you can produce. And as always, we'd absolutely love to see it, especially if you've been doing it at home. Make sure you send it in to us, because we'd love to see these final products. Send them into year6@brindleyacademy.com. And I would suggest taking at least 2 or 3 days to put this together. Do not rush it. All right, I'll see you later, guys. Bye.